Comic books, sci-fi, video games, pro wrestling. If you've been made fun of for it, we're probably going to talk about it. Get those nerds! Nerds! You're listening to Nerd Radio.
Welcome back to another episode of Nerd Radio. Oh, not yet. Calm down there, production. That's what I get for trying to put a little spice on it.
Oh, that's what you get. You tried to put some stank on it, and you got
did.
stanked instead.
What was that? You trying to do like that, is it Bruce Buffer or whatever?
A little.
Like the, let's get ready.
Whoa. We don't have the money for those royalties.
No. I wasn't going to finish the statement.
Oh, boy.
Let's get ready to...
Do some podcasting.
Crumble. Let's get ready to crumble. Yeah. I like that. That should be a slogan
has
for
that
like a cheese brand.
too, yeah.
Yeah.
It probably just
Crumbly
cost us
cheese.
$8,000.
Oh, boy. We'll put it on the Checkpoint XP tab. Well, hey,
right.
Hey, we're on their Twitch stream, so.
I've told you guys before about my Motley Crue hearing aid idea, right?
Wait a second. No.
Yeah, no. At this point, Motley Crue should license "Shout at the Devil" to somebody that does hearing aids, and they can change it to "Shout at your grandma."
I like
you
it.
don't have to shout at your grandma. You don't have to shout at your grandma anymore.
I really like that idea. Just be careful they don't steal it like they did Dave Hunter. Hot Pocket did to Dave Hunter.
That's fair. No, I'm putting it out into the universe because I want to be watching TV at some point and hear "Shout at your grandma" and be like, "Hey, cool, shout."
You just hope your grandma didn't blow
Shouting at your
Tommy
grandma.
Lee.
Well, I mean, we're all getting older. At this point, it could happen. Speaking of getting older, before we even get started here, I've told you guys about that Retro Crush app that has all the old.
That's the site where you can go back. Oh, anime. Okay.
Yeah, it's got all the older anime on it, and I checked it out last night, and they had a particular anime that I remember from it's all anime from like the mid '80s to the mid '90s, that 10-year block, which is when I started watching anime because it wasn't a thing yet.
On MTV or whatever.
Would
that be like Eon Flux type stuff?
A little bit like
or
that.
Or they'd have like the weird MTV show that just had random little shorts.
It was the kind of thing that you would see a video cassette somewhere and it would have the cartoons, or like some of your Saturday morning cartoons would be anime and you didn't even realize it.
Or like Le Petit Prince or The Little Prince.
That's what I watched.
For real? The Little Prince?
Was
You're
on
kidding
there.
me.
Yep.
Oh my God.
And I'm
what is happening right now?
How
did I pull that out of the? I just remember watching it on Nickelodeon when I was in kindergarten. That used to come on. And then I learned in French class it used to be Le Petit Prince or whatever. Yeah, I was like, what?
Oh.
So I queued it up last night to watch Le Petit Prince, and now there's ads because it's just
they got to support themselves.
Yeah, exactly. You can pay to have no ads, but there's ads if you want to watch it. The thing that disturbed me though is that the ads they were running were for a senior's home.
Oh no,
And I was like, hey.
Yeah, well.
The only people alive when this was originally aired are
now.
about to die.
You are the senior member of Nerd Radio, but
that's not nice.
I've also got a little pro tip for people at home. If they decide, when they buy new earbuds, if they decide to spring the little extra cash to get noise canceling, don't do a podcast with James. You just blew my ear.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I felt the wind.
I'm sorry.
My eardrums.
I was just playing Al's eardrums.
Right.
Don't worry. I backed off the headphones a little bit.
You have a setting on there that's like less James, like the bass boost. You're like, I got a James reducer set of headphones here.
I'm a James reducer, yeah.
Oh, my James reducer has failed. My eardrums are now destroyed.
Yeah, a wonderful feature on the Apple TV.
Oh.
Is the James reducer?
Well, it is something that I do like, though, is they'll even out the sound levels.
Oh, that's nice.
Which is nice because you're constantly up and down on the volume, like, people talk like this.
Yeah.
And this is the dialogue. And then boom! There goes the car that they were just driving exploding. And
Has any director or anybody tried to give an artistic reason why they do that in certain movies?
It probably
and television
sounds
shows?
great in the surround sound in the theater.
Right.
But
even then, it's rough. So, because we have a surround sound system put in when we bought our house 2 years ago or whatever. There was a theater section where they had a projector and nice surround sound. And we negotiated to make sure all that was included when we bought the house. Well, the projector was so old we couldn't watch it.
Yeah.
So I had to upgrade the projector. So I've been saving up money for the last few years and finally upgraded the projector. But what Al is describing with people talking so quietly. That's the problem I have at the house. I have to have the surround sound cranked all the way up to hear the dialogue. And then when some explosion happens, I'm like, holy crap.
Yep.
I'm deaf now. I need to turn on the captions because I can't hear anything. It is weird like that you can't find a balance, you know?
Yeah. So if you get yourself an Apple TV.
Yeah.
How much are they paying you for this?
Please, I didn't even get a free Apple TV.
It's not for Apple. It's for the Apple.
The Apple TV.
You're hearing the extra L.
Right.
Oh, the extra L. The extra L. The Apple TV.
No one needs an extra L. This show barely has one.
It barely has one. We don't need an extra one. Well, I got a bunch of stuff to talk about this week. But before we get there, I'm curious what you guys have been up to as far as nerd stuff this week.
I got some.
James?
I watched a movie that I think you'll be proud of me for checking out. The New Mutants.
Hey!
And check this out. So I wanted to sit down and watch Tenet.
Yeah.
And I saw that it was on HBO Max. So I was like, sweet, I'm going to put on Tenet and check out the new projector and see if it's as confusing as what everybody said it was going to be. But as I was scrolling through options to find Tenet, New Mutants popped up.
Right.
And I put that bad boy on and checked it out.
You watched New Mutants instead of Tenet?
I watched it instead of Tenet, yeah. I still went back and watched Tenet like the next day. But I watched New Mutants, and it wasn't bad. It didn't really leave me feeling any sort of way, but I enjoyed the story. It was just interesting, the ability that the main protagonist has, that girl with in finding your fears, whatever your deepest, darkest, most feared thing is,
and then psychically bringing them out,
bringing it like to life to then torment that person. Like it was interesting. I don't really know. I'm not familiar with the characters in terms of the being in the X-Men or being a part of like the X-Men storyline.
Yeah, so I don't think they showed up very much in the cartoons, if at all.
Okay, so I'm assuming the blonde Russian girl, is that supposed to be Magneto's daughter?
Colossus's sister.
Oh, Colossus's sister.
Yes.
Okay, because I was thinking the whole time it was like Polaris. Is that her name?
Yeah, Polaris.
Because I think I recognized her from like another like Fox channel that was like kind of loosely based on
Polaris
X-Men.
was in The Gifted, the
Gifted
show that was on.
We used to watch that in the house.
Yep.
So I thought that might have been who she was because they had similar faces.
Yeah.
Different colored hair, but similar faces and kind of a similar look. But yeah, overall it was pretty good.
I'm more impressed that you watched it because it's spooky.
Oh, I didn't think it really. As I was watching it and the way they would set some of the stuff up, I was like, now I see why they're saying this is kind of a horror movie.
Yeah.
But I lean away from the spooky games.
Okay, but spooky movies.
Watching the spooky movie, I just hide my eyes if I get too scared. Oh, this is a spooky monster. But when I'm playing a video game, I'm forced. I have to have the controller, and now I have to go face this monster and look it straight in the face and be like, oh, I got to fight this scary-ass demon. But watching the movie, I just avert my sight. I can blindfold myself.
That explains all of the I need a hug text messages over the weekend.
Yeah, I was
watching New Mutants on the new projector.
Yeah. Getting scary.
Well, she's got the main protagonist. She's got a real scary bear that comes after her all the time, and not the kind of bear that I'm associated with.
Well
like
done.
A grizzly bear.
Well done.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I am interested to see New Mutants. I still haven't seen Dark Phoenix either, so I'm like,
you're missing much there.
Yeah, no, I know I'm not missing much there, so I'm too behind on my X-Men movies now.
Right.
But
yeah, I like New Mutants. I'm excited to see where it's going to go. I want to know more.
Al, you need to watch Venom. God damn it!
I used to got Venom on the list, Al.
Still got to watch Venom.
Yeah. I also realized because they got all the DC movies on HBO Max too.
Yeah.
I also haven't seen Birds of Prey yet.
Oh, that was all right. It was fun. I
had fun with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a good time.
Yeah.
I know that some people were like, "Oh, that's not Black Canary. That's not how that works. That's not how this character works." I'm like, "Yeah, have fun, man."
I think it's cool how they're setting up Birds of Prey. I'm sorry, but Margot Robbie, I'm going to watch Margot Robbie play Harley Quinn.
Yeah, wow.
Suicide Squad movie.
I'd
comes
watch
out
her
in a month
just
or two.
fart in tin cans as Harley Quinn. I'd be like, I'll buy 2 movie tickets for that.
Hear that, Margot Robbie? Get yourself on Twitch. Get yourself some tin cans.
Some tin cans in a hot tub.
Yeah. And then over the weekend, I ended up watching the new Mortal Kombat movie.
Oh, yeah. What'd you think?
That was okay.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I don't really have like a huge nostalgia connected to that.
No.
Though, so like it
you
wasn't.
Didn't see a particular character and go like, oh yeah, I remember them.
No, I did. No, we weren't allowed to play the video game because it was just a little too much, I guess. As my parents considered, but and I never really watched the other movies. So the limited amount of Mortal Kombat I had, like going to a friend's house and playing it.
Yeah.
Obviously, your Scorpion or whatever, and, your Sub-Zero. So, but nothing huge connection.
So you didn't get the chills when Scorpion finally says, "Get over here."
That was cool. That was actually a bonus.
Yeah.
So hearing that was cool. But again, it wasn't. I don't have super nostalgia, so it wasn't.
Right.
I was neither. Didn't get the chills really, but also I wasn't disappointed either.
Yeah.
By anything, so it was okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a better experience than you had with Godzilla.
I
and
did
Kong,
have
huh?
a better experience with Godzilla than Godzilla.
I'm surprised you didn't go back and watch Mortal Kombat Annihilation, the Mortal Kombat anime, just to get yourself brought up to speed on the new one.
That's true.
That way you know all the
True.
characters, some of their origins, and
Son of a bitch.
you needed to find out Kong came from Skull Island, and you went
This
back
is-
and watched that movie.
I'm trying to give you guys positive reinforcement every week. Last week, I told Al I was very, very impressed that he tried something new and he watched some wrestling. This week, I'm proud of you both
Oh wow.
because you watched a thing without having to go back and watch everything before it. You just jumped right in the pool,
Yeah.
and that's awesome.
You didn't research. Okay, what's the history of Mortal Kombat? You didn't play all the games first.
Damn it. I really screwed this up, didn't I?
No,
Now
not
he's
at
gonna
all.
Go back to the PS3
Because you
and play
had
that
a
Sub-Zero
good
game.
time, and you didn't have to think about all the stuff that happened.
I mean,
before.
I didn't even say I had a great time. It was okay.
You had a fantastic time.
You're reaching, Chuck. You're reaching for joy that's just not there.
It's non-existent.
Yeah.
I meant to watch a whole bunch of stuff over the weekend, but I'm just I've been playing that Avengers game. The Jupiter's Legacy thing is the Mark Millar comic.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
show finally came out on Netflix like 2 weeks ago, and I haven't watched a single episode of it yet.
What's it about?
It's an 8-episode series. It's a little bit like Mark Millar's version. Mark Millar is the guy who created Kick-Ass.
Thank you, because that's gonna be my next question. Like, who is Mark Millar?
Yes.
Yeah, also the Kingsman movies is based
Oh,
on
he's
his.
Kingsman
That's
and
his too.
and Kick-Ass.
He also
Yep.
wrote
Oh.
the Civil War story arc
Okay.
for Marvel.
Yep.
Although the movie turned out to be a lot different.
Well, that's
than
what I
the
wasn't.
comic.
I wasn't going to bring up the fact that the Wanted movie was based on a comic that he had written. But when they
Oh, that's the one with Angelina Jolie where they make the bullets
yes,
do curveballs.
when they licensed the comic when they licensed it for the movie,
Mhm.
the comic only had one issue, so they
Wow.
didn't exactly know what the story was going to be. So
Ah.
the comic is wildly different
Okay.
than the movie.
Yeah. He's a good writer, though. He's top tier, at least for a lot of comic readers. But Chuck and I both are big Millar fans.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that it's been probably a little over 10 years since I've been reading his stuff. And now when he comes out with a new book, now I'm a little more on the fence because I feel like I've seen all his tricks.
Sure, yeah.
There's definitely been times where I'm reading a Millar book and I'm like, well, that line of dialogue was in Kick-Ass. Hit Girl said that.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Or when he wrote Ultimate X-Men, Wolverine said that exact same line of dialogue. Come on now, Mark.
Oh.
Yeah, okay.
Going back to the well. So the Kingsman movies, how close were they to the comics that he had written?
I'd say if we're going on a percentile, it's probably about 60, maybe 70%.
Okay. That might be
Whereas
worth looking
Wanted
into.
is literally like under 10%.
Okay, I got you.
The
There
comic
was-
is wildly different.
Well, I like the weird. There's something weird about the Kingsman movies.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is exactly, but there's something about him that I'm just like, I really like it. Like,
Yeah.
there's a weird twist.
His
Like
stuff.
a meat grinder chick or
Yeah,
whatever.
his
you know?
stuff is really fun. And as a reader, it's easily digestible.
Okay.
Like it's not difficult to unpack what's going on.
In the
there.
comics, does he still get anal from the Swiss princess or whoever was kidnapped?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I can't quite remember.
I
It's
can't
been a
recall,
while
but
since I read them.
One of the, I mean, honestly, yeah, it's been a long time since I read them, and I've only seen the first movie of the two, and I only saw it once. But here is a little Easter egg from the comic that I like to tell people about when they talk about the Kingsman. So in the comic, and it's not really a big spoiler because it's like just a thing that happens in the first issue. It's not the overall story or whatever. But in the very beginning, when you first meet some of these secret agents, they're on this mission when there's this thing where this supervillain is kidnapping celebrities. And in the very first issue, Mark Hamill has been kidnapped, and the secret agent's like saving him. But something goes horribly wrong, and Mark Hamill ends up dead.
Oh, no.
He
no,
like gets
Luke
dropped off a
Skywalker.
cliff or something like that. Does that
Something
sound
like- yeah,
familiar to
that
you?
sounds close.
But it's just kind of like this funny little thing. We're like, well, I didn't expect Luke Skywalker to get killed in this comic book.
It'd be funny if you find out, too, he's like a diehard Star Trek fan or something.
Oh, right. But, well, you kind of get something like that in Fanboys.
Yeah.
With the guy who's got the secret blueprints to Skywalker Ranch turns out to be William Shatner. He's like black market selling it.
But from the movie Fanboys.
From the movie Fanboys, yeah.
But that's where I got that idea from.
But the Easter egg in the movie is the fact that Mark Millar just sort of like flippantly kills Mark Hamill, and Mark Hamill is in the first Kingsman
isn't he
movie.
one of the professors or something?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And he's like a bit of a nerd himself. So he knows that he was killed in the comic book. And he's like, that's hilarious.
That's more respect to Mark Hamill for being able to take it on the chin, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that's a little Easter egg, the fact that,
that's
he's in the movie for such
now
a
I'm going to go back and
role.
watch the Kingsman movie.
Yeah, it's kind of like Simon Pegg being Wee Huey's father.
Yes.
In the fact that he was drawn to look like... Yep. Yeah, specifically
in
drawn.
The boys,
yeah.
Now my mind can the only thing I remember from Fanboys is Kristen Bell in the Leia outfit at the very end.
Hubba.
That's all I can.
No, now I have to go back and watch Fanboys. I don't remember Kristen Bell being in a Princess Leia outfit.
What does it say about me that I had forgotten that happened, and I remember Captain Picard's not gay; he's British.
We all gravitate towards the thing we love. But yeah, so Jupiter's Legacy came out on Netflix. The new Castlevania.
I thought it was Amazon Prime.
Nope.
Oh, it's okay.
Nope, it's on Netflix. The new
Big surprise! I'm wrong.
The new Castlevania anime
TV, that's why.
Came out on Netflix, and I haven't even watched the last season of the Castlevania anime. I'm a little soured in the Castlevania anime because Warren Ellis, speaking of writers that we're big fans of, somebody I was a really big fan of up until last summer when we found out he's kind of a creep.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's kind of colored everything he's done, whether it's older comics or anything he's working on currently. It's
left a bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah, I don't know if I want anything like that.
But anyway, so this what's it called? Jupiter what?
Jupiter's Legacy.
Jupiter's Legacy.
This
is the one written by the same guy
Mark
that
Millar.
wrote the Kingsman. Okay.
Yes.
How many episodes is it?
8 episodes.
Okay.
And it's about essentially a superhero team who got their powers in like the 50s or 60s called Jupiter's Circle. And now they're old enough that they have teenage to 20-something children. And those children are complete disappointments.
Okay.
And I think that's enough without spoiling anything that happens, at least in the comic. I haven't seen the show, so I don't know, how much of that. But it was neat because the first comic was about that particular story, and then he came up with 2 miniseries after that went back and showed you these older characters when they were younger.
Okay.
And doing all that stuff. So it was a little bit like how Watchmen worked, how like there was an older version of the Watchmen, but then there was the modern, there was Rorschach and Night Owl and stuff, and you got to see the dichotomy between the characters.
Oh, interesting.
So I want to see it.
I'll have to put it on my list. There's something I haven't watched anything on Netflix in forever. Like Netflix just literally sucks money out of my bank account like a leech, and it doesn't give me anything in return. There's never anything on there that I want to watch or check out.
It's so funny. For the longest time, I was like, out of all the streaming services I have, the one I will not get rid of is Netflix. And I'm starting to feel the same way about it, and that may be the first one on the chopping block.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially because they keep sending their prices up, too.
Yes, thank you
for
bringing that up.
There's other stuff. And, like, I just got a 4K TV, so if you want 4K access, it costs even more.
Right.
Whereas you have, like, in HBO Max, where it's like, if you have 4K, if we have something that's in 4K, you just got it.
Boom.
Whereas Netflix is trying to get that little extra money out of you, you know? I mean, hell, even the stuff I bought on iTunes and watch on my Apple TV is automatically been upgraded to 4K.
I just feel like the title of this one is, this episode brought to you by Apple TV.
The funny thing is, I keep bringing it up as a callback to that previous episode, and I think I've already talked about it more in this episode than the one the first time. Yeah.
Have you? Eric Andre's got a new movie on Netflix.
I heard you talking about it on your stream on Twitch yesterday. I have to check that out.
It's called Bad Trip. It's real great.
Yeah.
Which one was Eric Andre?
He had the show on Adult Swim called The Eric Andre Show, where it was like a talk show where just like random
Hannibal
stuff would happen.
Buress was like his sidekick who really didn't do much. He'd always comes out and destroys the set of his show.
Yep.
I think if I see his...
He did a lot of like pranking people out on the street by doing absolutely crazy stuff.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
Ranch yourself, bro. Or whatever.
There was like a show that he was a recurring thing on, right?
Oh, he was on Two Broke Girls.
Was he?
I believe
That's great.
I believe Eric Andre played a character on Two Broke Girls that was dating.
I didn't even.
Kat Denning. I don't remember, but I was like.
And now Andrew WK is engaged to her.
Yeah.
That's pretty great.
Yeah. But I mean, that's a score for Andrew WK.
Yeah, I feel like Netflix is really the one that's taken it the hardest as far as everybody else getting their own streaming service because they're all pulling their stuff off of Netflix.
Yeah.
And Netflix is really scrambling to try and find, like, what can we license that somebody else already doesn't have?
Right.
Whether it's Hulu or HBO or Disney.
Yeah, I feel like the only thing I really show up to Netflix for now is that's where I typically watch my Star Trek, but that's on like 3 other services that I have.
Yeah.
And even if I lost all those, I've got hard copies of, that's the one thing I was like, I want a hard copy of. So I've got Blu-rays or DVDs of everything.
Right.
So I don't know. That may have to go. It may be a thing that I get rid of and then, yeah, sure, I'd like to see the next season of Stranger Things. Maybe I'll just buy it for a month, a year, and then,
I'd love to know what the numbers are on that kind of thing. Like when Stranger Things comes back, how many people subscribe for 1 month so they can watch Stranger Things and then just cancel it?
I'll say not as many as should.
Right.
Because I think a lot of people would get more out of their money if they just did that.
Yeah.
Like, this is Hulu month, or whatever.
Right.
But I find Hulu's the one that I use the most.
I use the most in our house too.
Yeah, and I think that's my live TV as well. I think you do Sling.
Yeah.
But I do Hulu. So
you know what drives me up the wall about Hulu though is the ads that you cannot fast forward through.
Oh,
There's always some, yeah.
Yeah, and like especially I use Hulu to watch my wrestling, my Raw and SmackDown and AEW and stuff. And like if I start an episode of AEW and then I can't finish the whole thing, so I stop it. When I come back, it will start at the beginning again, and I'm like, come on, and I'll go to fast forward up to where I was, and inevitably hit one of those unskippable 3 minutes of ads. I'm like, oh, come on.
Do you have live TV or no?
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
but
because I did find there's a little bit of a Hulu hack if you have the live TV thing.
Albeck's Hulu hack.
Tell the people at home.
Wait, should you tell them now, or should we take a break and come back with Al's?
There
Hulu
you go.
hack?
Oh God, I can't wait to disappoint people. Sit through an ad that they can't fast forward to get to a hack that's really not all that cool.
And that's what we're going to do.
Coming up next.